Not sure if we're live or not. I think we are. Can't tell from here how the connection is. But if you can hear me and have a view of the skyline of Miami, that means we're live. It's beautiful out right now. It is about 8:40 p.m. here in Miami, 8:40 p.m. in Miami, and it is about 80 Fahrenheit, which is 27.5 Celsius. We are in Miami, overlooking the Brickell area of Miami. And there is the bridgeway. I feel like I'm back in New York with the sirens. That is the bridgeway that connects to Brickell. It's just beautiful here tonight. I don't know how clear this is coming across because it is quite dark out. Hey, Fred, how are you? Hi, Louise. Everybody follow Fred Ellis and Louise Poppy. Fred is based in New York. He's a wonderful musician. And Louise is based in New Zealand, in Auckland. And she travels throughout the world. Give her a follow. Hi, Elena. So I'll be in Miami. I flew in this morning, and I fly back to New York on Tuesday morning. So a quick trip to Miami. I did a broadcast a couple of hours ago around all of Brickell Key. I'm on Brickell Key, and that is Brickell. And you can tune in to see the replay from earlier today to see the view for daytime. But now we're looking at the view for nighttime. And it is just absolutely beautiful out. Lisbon and Annie, I remember you from earlier today. Welcome back. Welcome back to Annie from Lisbon. I've never been to Lisbon. I'd love to go. So they call Miami Manhattan South, and you can see why. I think the skyline speaks for itself. Okay, Fred, so you were about, what, a 10-minute taxi ride from here if you were on Miami Beach. I'm south of downtown Miami, about a 5-minute taxi ride south of downtown in the area known as Brickell. Annie, you're absolutely correct. I have not been broadcasting as of late, unfortunately. No excuse, I just haven't been. I'm down here on business, Elena. And if you watched the broadcast from earlier today, I went all into that, and then I fly back to New York on Tuesday. So tomorrow I have a very busy day at work. I highly doubt I'll be able to broadcast tomorrow. But you never know, anything can happen. Yeah, Fred will be back on November 17th. I will be back in Florida the first weekend of December, but not in Miami. When I come back to Florida in December, I will be in Vero Beach, which is about a 3-hour drive north of here. Vero Beach is on the East Coast like Miami is, except Vero Beach is more in the middle area of the East Coast of Florida, where, of course, Miami is at the southern tip of Florida. It's just beautiful out. It's a gorgeous view. It's beautiful. So Miami, this area of Brickell. Now, I was last in Miami. I'm in Florida frequently because I have family in Florida, but not in Miami. So I haven't been to Miami in about 10 or 15 years. And it is just astounding how they have built up this area of the city. It was not like this, anywhere near like this when I was last down here, at least in this part of Miami. Because as I said, I'm usually a bit north in either West Palm Beach or Vero Beach, which is further north. I haven't been to Miami in about 10, 15 years. And it's just astounding how they've built this up. It's breathtaking. It's absolutely beautiful. They've done a great job. It was 88 earlier today, 88 Fahrenheit. Now it's 80. It's beautiful down here, Elena. You would love it. The best thing, from my perspective, one of the greatest things about Florida is the weather, because I do not like the cold, and the winters up north in New York can get cold, especially in February. And what's nice is the flight from New York to Florida is only, depending on where you're going in Florida, it's about 2 hours and 15 minutes. If you're flying into Vero Beach or to West Palm Beach. To Miami, it's 2.5 hours. So it's a very quick flight, and you can go from really cold weather to beautiful warm weather in just 2.5 hours. You can't beat it. So for those outside of the United States, it's very easy for folks in the Northeast, whether it be New York or Boston, for example, just to hop on a plane, and in 2.5 hours you're on the beach. So Miami and Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach, it's very popular for people in the Northeast to just hop on down and fly here, as I did today, as Fred did last month. It's very common. And even for a quick weekend getaway, when it's cold in New York. Right now it's still very comfortable in New York. It won't really start to get cold for another 2 months or so. But it's very easy just to hop on a plane for a weekend getaway, because it's a very quick flight. And there's so many flights, so the airfares are relatively inexpensive due to all the competition. My mother-in-law wants to retire. Yes, Elena, when I retire eventually, and I hope it won't be for many years because I love New York, but eventually when I retire, I will most likely retire to Florida. I don't know if it will be right here in Miami. It might be, or a little bit further north where some of my relatives live. I don't have to worry about making that decision for many years to come, but eventually, yes, I will retire down here. In the perfect world, I would love to keep a place in Manhattan so I can easily go back and forth, but New York City is very expensive, so I do not know how feasible that will be, but I don't have to make those decisions now. I have plenty of time. Hey, Peter! Do you guys see Peter Masella? Okay, Peter is an incredible aviation broadcaster. He specializes in aviation on YouTube. I want you to follow Peter Masella on YouTube. I don't know if he broadcasts on HAPS, which is what I'm using right now, although I'm simulcasting on YouTube. I want you to follow Peter Masella. If you're really into aviation, even if you're not, he does breathtaking videotapes from the aircraft, and he explains where you're traveling to. He'll shoot from the aircraft window down below and explain where you're flying over, the air traffic control direction, what the pilots are doing, where you are on the flight, how the pilots communicate with air traffic control, where the waypoints are in the sky, and how all that works. It is so fascinating. And he does such a great job. I think Peter Masella is one of the most, and I've told him this, he is one of the most underrated aviation broadcasters on all of YouTube. You have got to follow him. He's awesome. So Peter, thank you for being here. Peter, I'm not nearly as good as you are with broadcasting aviation, but I did a quick broadcast of my first class. I flew first class on American Airlines. Peter usually flies Delta, and I do too. But today I flew American Airlines. Peter, they had a 777, and I was in seat 2A. You cannot believe the seat I was in. It was seat 2A on a Boeing 777 American Airlines. You have got to see the seat. I'm sure you've sat in them because you fly much more frequently than I do. Oh my God, it was incredible, that seat. What they're doing, and Peter knows more about this than I do, but American Airlines has a bunch of 777 Boeing aircraft flying between JFK and Miami, and that normally is not the case. The only reason they're doing it now is because a lot of and again, Peter will fill in the blanks. I'm not nearly in the loop as he is on aviation. Oh, thank you, Peter. But what American Airlines is doing, and I've read an article about this, that's the only reason I know, a lot of the American Airlines international pilots on the Boeing 777s, which is a huge wide-body aircraft, they sort of been out of commission because of COVID. They haven't been flying those routes, and they haven't been getting a lot of training because of that, because they're just not flying. So American did something very smart. Yes, Peter, I just learned that myself. American is flying a lot of these gigantic wide-body 777 Boeing airplanes between JFK and Miami that really are only used for international, like from here to Europe, from here to Tokyo, from here to Auckland, for example, just to get the pilots ready because they're starting to ramp up again to get them flying these planes overseas again. So these pilots haven't been flying, they've been in the simulator, but they haven't been flying live, the real deal with passengers in quite some time. So American is wisely getting them back on these planes so the pilots can get back in the groove of flying these aircraft, so they'll be ready to go on a moment's notice when American reopens all their international routes between New York and Europe and the West Coast and Asia and Australia and Auckland. So this is great news for the passengers because people like me, I'm able to fly on these luxurious aircraft on just a 2.5-hour flight in these amazing large international travel seats on a 2.5-hour flight, and everyone's doing it. My flight was packed. And the Boeing 777 is gigantic. I think it seats around 300 people, and there was not an empty seat on that plane. And I just got lucky. I was able to get a seat right at the front, which was amazing. But those take advantage of it while you can, because as I said, American Airlines will take all of these planes off of the New York-Miami route very soon, because they will retransition all those planes back to Europe. But enjoy it while you can if you're thinking of flying down here. Fred, I fly back on Tuesday. Tuesday morning. I flew in this morning and I fly right back on Tuesday morning. Fred, I might have an extra ticket for midnight mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral. If you're going to be in town, let me know. I won't know for about 3 or 4, probably another month, but I might have another ticket. Elena, it's not expensive to fly between New York and Miami because the competition is fierce. There's like all the airlines leave out of JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark. It's like 3 or 4 flights every hour. So and again, Peter will know more about this than I do, but because there's so many flights out of the New York City area, all 3 airports, and the competition is so fierce, the prices between New York and Miami are actually not bad. No, Peter, I will not. I am actually flying back into Newark on a 737-800. So on Tuesday, I left this morning from JFK to Miami, but on Tuesday, I fly back to Newark on a smaller aircraft. So I will not have the luxurious seat going back, but it was wonderful to fly out today on the aircraft that I did. It was incredible. Fred, I just saw your note. Okay, I will DM you. Give me a couple of weeks, Fred. I have to reach back out to St. Patrick's Cathedral, I think, in another week. But for now, mark your calendar for midnight mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral. And if you want to meet up for dinner with Max or just you and me or whoever beforehand, you let me know. But you don't have to answer today, Fred. We're talking, another couple of weeks. Peter, I am I'm in my hotel in Brickell Key. I am on the balcony of my hotel, overlooking the Brickell area of Miami. Louise, when are you coming back to New York? And I got upgraded. This was not my original hotel room. The front desk when I checked in was wonderful. They offered me an upgrade at no extra charge. So I gave the lady at the checkout desk a $20 bill, thanking her very much. So this is a much more expensive room, which I did not have to pay for. They upgraded me when I arrived, which was wonderful of them to do. I was not expecting that. Elena, international travel you cannot get on an international flight unless you're vaccinated, I think. Peter will know more about that. But it doesn't matter because I'm fully vaccinated. I am fully vaccinated. Yes, I explained earlier in the broadcast, I'm in Florida all the time because I have relatives in Florida, but I am not in Miami all the time because my relatives do not live in Miami. They're further north in Vero Beach and West Palm Beach. So this is the first time I've been to Miami in about 10, 15 years, and it is astounding how much, you cannot believe how they built this up since I was last here. It's incredible. You'd love to have dinner. Yes, we have to catch up, Fred. We'll be in touch. Mark Midnight Mass at St. Patrick's on Christmas night, or I think it's Christmas Eve Midnight Mass. And just give me another 2 or 3 weeks to get back to you on that, but I'm pretty sure I'll have the tickets. And mark your calendar. And definitely we'll meet up. I think the 21 Club is closed now, Fred. That's a bummer, but we'll figure something out. Yes, Annie, I've been to Naples, Florida, which is on the West Coast, but not in several years. Your mother-in-law went to Ireland and France and had to have tests done. Yes, I'm actually going to be on a film set tomorrow. I explained this earlier on. I am not in the film industry. I work on Wall Street. I'm in financial services, but I am actually executive producing a film, and that's why I'm down here. I will be on set tomorrow, and it's a Screen Actors Guild union film. Even though I'm vaccinated, it's mandated that you get a negative COVID rapid PCR test. So I had that done on Friday. So that's tomorrow. I have a very busy day. It's going to be a 12-hour shoot on a film set that I'm executive producing. So I don't think I'll have time to broadcast tomorrow. I spoke about it earlier. It's called 1%. It's a 15-minute short film. It stars Emily Leguizamo, who is the sister of John Leguizamo. And it's a dark comedy, 15-minute film. It's going to be ready next year, and they're going to try and get it into a number of film festivals. I do not work in the entertainment industry. I just happen to help fund this film. So because I helped fund it, they gave me a title of executive producer, but I have nothing to do with the making of the film because it's not my industry, and I frankly wouldn't know what the heck I was doing anyway. But they, as a courtesy, they invited me on set tomorrow, and they're actually making me an extra. I'm going to be in a funeral scene tomorrow, but in the background. I'm not, as I said, I'm not in the industry. I have no idea about acting or anything like that. So I'll just be in the background looking sad at a funeral scene tomorrow. And they told me to get a black dress, which I did, and pearls. So I'll be wearing a black dress and pearls tomorrow, and I have to be on set at like 8 in the morning, so I have to go to bed right after this broadcast. No, I am not famous. As I said, my background and where I work is financial services. I have nothing whatsoever to do with the film industry, except I'm helping to fund this short film. So as a courtesy, they invited me on set and actually made me a background. They're putting me in a background scene. I'll probably be cut out because I will have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. The director of the film is an amazing young director named Juliana Pitt, and she has won several awards for a number of short films that she's directed. So I'm excited to actually finally meet her in person tomorrow, and I'll get to meet. Unless I don't see, I haven't. I don't know, they've been filming for the last several days, so I don't know who will be actually on set tomorrow. But if Emily Leguizamo has a scene again tomorrow, I don't know if her stuff is already wrapped or not. But if it has not, then I look forward to meeting her tomorrow, because I'm a fan of her brother's work, John Leguizamo. He's an amazing actor. He won't be there, but his sister is one of the lead characters in this film. Yes, there are boats on the water earlier. When I started the broadcast, there's a few out there. I don't know if you can see them. Those are boats. I'll point down. So downtown Miami is about a 5-minute taxi ride in that direction. This area is known as Brickell, Miami. Phil, it would not be me. There's about 5 or 6, I think 4 or 5 executive producers on this film. And they, unlike me, they're all in that industry, so they're handling everything. I'm just along for the ride. I was going to broadcast the sunset, but it was very overcast. The daytime was beautiful, but then it got very gray and overcast. It did not rain, but it got very gray and overcast during the sunset time. So there was no sunset. So that's the reason I did not broadcast a sunset, because there was none. It was too overcast a couple of hours ago, but it seems to be all cleared up now. It's gorgeous. You can even see the clouds in the sky. Isn't that amazing? You might not be the bus driver, but I'm riding the bus. It is. It's gorgeous. This is like they do call Miami Manhattan South, and you can see why. Here you go. This explains it. Just this view. Yeah, as I said before, although I'm in Florida quite often, I have not been to Miami in about 10 or 15 years, more like 15 years, and it was nothing like this when I was last here. So they have built so much. This is just breathtaking. It's just gorgeous. And it's right on the water, just so beautiful. I live on the Upper West Side. I don't have a water view, but this reminds me of like looking over the Hudson River or looking over the East River into Manhattan. That's sort of what this reminds me of. It's just beautiful. Yeah, I just flew in today, Damon. I just flew in today on Sunday, and I fly back on Tuesday. So I'm really only here today, all day tomorrow, and then first thing Tuesday, I'm out of here. So I have to get back to my real job in financial services. We have a big project coming due this weekend. So I have got to get back to New York, or else I would have extended my stay here. I would have stayed here a few more days, but I just can't do it. I've got to get back to New York on Tuesday morning. As a matter of fact, as soon as I land and I get back to my apartment, I'm actually going to log right into my job and just work, because we have a big deadline coming up this Friday. We'll get it done. We're actually a little bit ahead of schedule, so I'm not worried about that. But if I don't get back on Tuesday, then I would start to get worried. So that's why I have to fly back on Tuesday. Otherwise, I would have extended this trip a few more days. I mean, this is beautiful. I am going to be tired. I am. You're right, Elena. Exactly, Betty. All right, everybody. I would love to stay out here some more. It's beautiful. There's no breeze. It's cooled off from this afternoon. It's just enormously beautiful and just so gorgeous. I wish you could feel the temperature right now, because the humidity has gone down, the wind has died down. It's a perfect evening. It's just beautiful, but I have to wake up very early tomorrow and have a very long day ahead of me. So I have to get ready for bed and get an early bedtime here, so because the alarm's going off very early tomorrow. So I want to thank you all for being here, and I don't believe I'm going to be able to broadcast tomorrow. If I can, I will, but if I don't, I'm not sure when I'll be back on. Maybe next weekend, I don't know. But until next time, I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. I wish you all, depending on where you are in the world, either a good night or a good morning or a good afternoon. But regardless where you are, have a great rest of the day or morning or evening. And I will be back on here, hopefully sooner rather than later. So until next time, take care and bye for now.